Good evening, everyone. I have pleasure in opening the ordinary council meeting of the 28th of July 2026 at 6:31 p.m. Welcome all those in attendance. I wish to inform you that the meeting is being live streamed and recorded. The video will appear on the council's website and YouTube channel. The public gallery will not be recorded unless accidentally, and only a participant in the meeting, namely a person asking questions at public question time, will be live streamed and recorded. If you wish to ask a question at public question time, your voice and image will be recorded and live streamed. If you do not consent to your voice and image being recorded and live streamed to the public, then you'll need to leave the meeting. By staying at this meeting, you consent to your voice and image being live streamed and recorded. No other electronic, visual or audio recording device or instrument can be used to record the proceedings of this meeting without prior written permission from the council, as per the City of Belmont Standing Orders Local Law. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Whadjuk Noongar people as the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I further acknowledge their cultural heritage, beliefs, connection and relationship with this land which continues today. Councillor Aberdeen, would you please read aloud the affirmation of civic duty and responsibility on behalf of elected members present, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I make this affirmation in good faith and declare that I will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfill the duties of my office for all the people in the City of Belmont according to the best of my judgment and ability. I will observe the city's code of conduct and standing orders to ensure efficient, effective and orderly decision making within this forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Aberdeen. Apologies. I note there's no apologies for this meeting, and I also note that no councillors have recorded having leave of absence for this meeting. Declarations of interest. Financial interest. Will the Coordinator of Governance please advise of any financial declarations made to date, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr Mayor, no financial declarations have been received.
Will the Coordinator of Governance please advise of disclosures made regarding interests affecting impartiality?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. No disclosures have been received.
There are no announcements this evening. The disclaimer. It is 6:33 p.m. I wish to draw attention to the disclaimer notice contained with the agenda document and advise members of the public that any decisions made at the meeting tonight can be revoked pursuant to the Local Government Act of 1995. Therefore, members of the public should not rely on any decisions until formal notification in writing from the City has been received. Declarations by members who have not given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers presently before the meeting. Are there any declarations to be made by councillors? There are none. Public question time. 5.1. Response to questions taken on notice. Responses to questions taken on notice from the ordinary council meeting of the 23rd of June 2026 are noted in the agenda for Mr Roslin, Ms Hollins on behalf of Belmont Resident Ratepayers Action Group, Ms Hollins herself, Ms Ransom, Mr Cardoso and Ms G. 5.2. Questions by members of the public. It is 6:34 p.m. and open public question time and draw attention to the public gallery to the rules of public question time as written in the question time form. I remind members of the public of the Standing Orders Local Law requirements for members of the public to extend due courtesy and respect to both councillors and employees. Please do not use inappropriate, objectable or untruthful expressions or expressions that reflect adversely on the character or actions of councillors or employees. If any expression is deemed inappropriate, you'll be directed to withdraw the expression and apologise. If you do not comply, I'll have to end your question. Lastly, remind and caution everyone present at the meeting to refrain from making defamatory statements, especially as the proceedings are live streamed. As such, some viewers of the live stream may find the content of this meeting be offensive or distressing. Under the City Standing Orders, Local Law 2017, members of the public can ask up to 2 questions, have a maximum of 2 minutes per question for the question to be asked and answered. As presiding member tonight, I will allow up to 4 questions per person. Please note that sub-questions, being questions within questions, will be counted towards the total number of questions permitted. The question number and time limit is to allow fair, equal opportunity for everyone to ask their questions before the proceedings continue. Presently, I have 4 members of the public who have given prior notice to ask questions, there being Ms L Harding, Ms L Hollins for Bragg, Ms L Hollins from Redcliffe, Kate Neal from Cudell. Is there anyone else wishes to ask a question?
Maybe.
I need you.
Yeah, okay.
Rosalind, and the gentleman at the back, could I have your name, full name? Could I have your name? Elliot. Thank you. From Rivervale, I believe. Yep. Thank you. If there's no one else, we'll go to the first person off the rank. Remember to state your name and suburb only. You do not have to give your address. Please ask your question. Note you have 2 minutes per question for the question to be asked and answered. Miss L Harding, please come forward. Could we have the microphone on, please?
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Lindy Harding from Rivervale. Good evening, Mayor, councillors and officers. Council adopted Belmont on the Move Integrated Movement Network Strategy on the 23rd of August 2016 as a strategy with a 10-year planning horizon. In June 2026, before that horizon had ended, the City stated that the strategy had been largely superseded by the long-term cycle network and that its actions had been superseded, while also stating that it remained an informing document. What formal council decision or decisions, if any, established the City's position that the strategy or particular actions within it had been superseded? Please identify each decision by date, item number, relevant wording, and whether it applied to the strategy as a whole or to specified actions within it. If no such decision has been identified, please state, no formal council decision has been identified that expressly superseded the strategy as a whole or specified actions within it.
First of all, thank you for submitting these questions early. I appreciate that. Over to the CEO.
Thank you, Worship. The City's response is as follows. The need to create the Sustainable Transport Strategy has been outlined at several information forums and ordinary council meetings since 2024. Belmont on the Move Integrated Movement Network Strategy, as you note, was adopted by Council at the 23rd of August 2016 ordinary council meeting. The strategy had a 10-year planning timeframe that has now passed, and for that reason alone, it is due for replacement. The strategy has, however, been largely superseded by both the long-term cycle network, adopted by Council on the 23rd of June 2020 at the ordinary council meeting, and the activity centre planning strategy adopted by Council at the 27th of February 2024 ordinary council meeting. Belmont on the Move preceded the planning for the long-term cycle network and therefore did not mention it. The City's Sustainable Transport Plan 2019 to 2023 committed the City to work with the Department of Transport to finalise planning for the long-term cycle network. This action was completed and Council adopted the aspirational long-term cycle network at the 23rd of June 2020 ordinary council meeting. The adoption of the long-term cycle network superseded the number of future actions identified under the strategy's cycling section of Belmont on the Move. The 23rd of June 2020 Council resolution, however, made no commitment to deliver all or any part of the long-term cycle network within a particular timeframe, nor commit any party to fund any specific route. Since that adoption, there has therefore been no strategic driver to fund or develop the long-term cycle network. The development of the new sustainable transport strategy seeks to change that. The two based actions that were identified in Belmont on the Move were considered and updated in the Activity Centre planning strategy that was adopted by Council on the 27th of February 2024 at the Ordinary Council meeting. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Go ahead. Next question, please.
Thank you. My next question, before or during preparation of the Sustainable Transport Strategy, did the City or a consultant acting on its behalf prepare any documents that identified what had been delivered and what remained outstanding under each of the following: Belmont on the Move Integrated Movement Network Strategy, the Sustainable Transport Plan 2019 to 2023, and the City-endorsed long-term cycle network within Belmont? If so, please identify each document by title and record number or other identifying reference and state which plan or network it addresses. For any plan or network for which no such document has been identified, please state no document has been identified that records what had been delivered and what remained outstanding under the name of the plan or network.
Mr. CEO?
Thank you, Worship. And the City's response is as follows. The City undertook an internal review of the actions under Belmont on the Move and Sustainable Transport Plan 2019 to 2023. There are no actions under the long-term cycle network, as explained previously. There is no current Council commitment to fund or deliver this. The outcome of the internal review was summarised for elected members at an information forum on the 4th of March 2025. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you. Do you have any further questions?
May I clarify what my question was asking?
Maybe just say your question again. Yes?
Yeah. Before or during preparation of the Sustainable Transport Strategy, did the City or a consultant acting on its behalf prepare any documents that identified what had been delivered and what remained outstanding under each of the following: Belmont on the Move Integrated Movement Network Strategy, the Sustainable Transport Plan 2019 to 2023, and the City-endorsed long-term cycle network within Belmont? If so, please identify each document by title and record number or other identifying reference and state which plan or network it addresses. For any plan or network for which no such document has been identified, please state no document has been identified that records what had been delivered and what remained outstanding under the name of the, and then name the plan or network.
I'll go to the Director of Infrastructure Services. Are you able to, and then I'll go to the CEO after that.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Rossi, I believe the CEO has answered that question. The document is would be the minutes of the information forum.
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I thought the response I provided did answer the question. The question was asking, did we engage a consultant or the like to prepare and identify any items? And my response was the City undertook an internal review of the actions under Belmont on the Move and Sustainable Transport Plan 2023. So the City undertook an internal review.
Any further questions?
I do have further questions, but
Go ahead.
I'd like to still clarify that I'm asking about, is there a document? So the document is the minutes. Is that what the answer was?
Mr. CEO, is the document the minutes?
Look, I think to clarify this, I'll take that on notice and confirm, but I thought my response was pretty clear. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
At the June 2025 OCM, I asked for a continuity table showing which of the 73 place-based projects in Belmont on the Move had been implemented, transferred to another plan or abandoned. The Director of Infrastructure Services responded that he could have someone map this out, although it would take some time. More than 12 months have now passed. Did the document that was identified or any of the documents identified in the earlier response contain an action or project level reconciliation of all 73 place-based projects for Belmont on the Move? Was that reconciliation completed before or after the 24th of June 2025? And if it's not recorded, then has any equivalent reconciliation of the 73 projects ever been completed?
Go to the Director of Infrastructure Services.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Rossi. I mean, the CEO mentioned there in relation to the Activity Centre planning strategy, and the Activity Centre planning strategy, the place-based actions were actually reviewed and updated, and the ACPS actually references a lot of those actions in that strategy with revised timeframes. So, I mean, the information is largely based under that strategy. Did we go and review all 73? No, because they're already reviewed and in a public document, being the ACPS.
Any further question?
So can I clarify that the answer is that the 73 place-based projects were reviewed in the ACPS?
Director of Infrastructure Services.
I can't say that every single one of them was reviewed, but if you read the ACPS, you'll see that a very considerable number of them are referenced and, as I said, given revised timeframes.
Last question, please.
The 2017 Belmont on the Move strategy identified the Surrey Road Bike Boulevard as a specific place-based project and assigned it an indicative implementation period of 1 to 3 years. The Director of Infrastructure Services confirmed at the June 2025 OCM that this had been delivered in 2019, which is within the strategy's stated indicative period. For any future cycleway projects currently identified or being progressed through the long-term cycle network or another city planning process, does either the long-term cycle network or the draft sustainable transport strategy identify them with the same level of specificity by project, location and indicative delivery period? Please identify each such project and state its location, any indicative delivery period, and where each of those details appears in the long-term cycle network for Belmont or the draft strategy.
There's actually a lot there. You may need to submit that question for us, but we'll see what the Director of Infrastructure can remember.
Through you, Mayor Rossi, I can answer that. I mean, the long-term cycle network doesn't have a delivery timeframe, as it was adopted as an aspirational timeframe and noted that there was no commitment on the city to either fund or deliver any part of it. So there is no timelines for the delivery of the long-term cycle network. And at the recent IAF, I did outline some of the projects that we were thinking of in terms of what we potentially could deliver under this strategy based on what the last set of funding rules were from the state government. So, I mean, in relation to projects we're thinking of and timeframes, that would all be put into the implementation plan. And as we've noted previously before, we have no problem publishing what our high-level projects and timeframes are under that implementation plan.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ms Hollands for Bragg.
Good evening, Mayor and councillors and the staff. Firstly, I do not give consent to be on camera and any received consent under duress. Bragg questions. Documentation from the August 23 council meeting on page 104 regarding Belvedere Street stated, the project site area is located within the Belvedere Street Activity Centre on Belvedere Street, Belmont. The project area is bounded by Kemah Street to the southwest and Leek Street to the northeast and is inclusive of all public spaces. The cost was estimated at approximately $8,878,000 and submissions were done on this basis, and that's what council eventually approved. On Belmont Connect, it now states the stage 3 area between Kemah Street and Summer Street, which is concerning when you consider that there's some properties in this area that are managed, or rather not managed, by the Department of Communities. So my question, how much is the current amount this project is going to cost the ratepayer? And can I have a breakdown of what was originally put out to public submission and voted on being stage 1 and 2, and then the cost of stage 3?
Director of Infrastructure Services.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Rossi, we'll take that on notice.
Thank you. Question 2 on that. When did council approve stage 3, and who will be paying for the ongoing and continual removal of rubbish left by occupants of state housing once the ratepayer has paid for all this work?
Director of Infrastructure Services.
Yeah, again, I'll take that on notice, Mayor Rossi.
Thank you. Right, third question. After nearly 10 years of attending meetings, it seems to me we are having less council motions than ever. These should be motions that individual councillors see as being important to the residents of the community. Section 4A of the Standing Order states the CEO, with the concurrence of the Mayor, may exclude from the agenda paper any notice of motion 1, if it does not comply with subsection 3, which relates to notice being given with a reason, and it needs to be for good governance of the community. Point 2, deemed to be or likely to involve a breach of any of these standing orders or any other written law. And 3, that it is in the same terms or to the same effect of previous notice of motion placed before the council within the preceding 6 months. Or 4, that it would be a procedural manner that's best dealt with in the first instance by council at a meeting as described in part 18 of the standing orders. Section 7 states, where a notice of motion is excluded from the agenda paper, as provided above, with the exception if it's likely to be a breach of the standing orders, a member, with the approval of the presiding member, may move, and the council may resolve to have the excluded notice of motion included in the agenda paper at the next ordinary meeting of council. These standing orders give the Mayor a significant say on councillors being able to get motions on the agenda. So this question's for you, is for you, Mayor Rossi. Is the lack of councillor motions a result of you not allowing potential motions to be included, or is it because we have councillors that don't bother trying to improve the community in conjunction with suggestions that may be put forward by residents?
I don't think that's really appropriate to say that. That's really quite unfair. Next question, please. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer that. That's completely inappropriate to say that I would say anything like that about any councillor.
I'm just pointing out that you do have a lot of say, and I'm wondering why we're not getting motions.
I'm not going to give an answer for that. There is no reason. It's up to each councillor if they wish to put something forward. Thank you.
So they haven't been, okay. Okay, I asked previously about the $47 increase in waste charges for this year.
I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Just to get clarity, that's not what I said. I said I will not speak on that against any councillor. You can't put words into my mouth. That's not what I said.
Well, I just asked why, Mayor Rossi, and I just pointed out that you do have a lot of say in...
And there is 8 independent people with their own voices here. Thank you.
I asked previously about the $47 increase in waste charges for this year and was advised that this was due to the state previously subsidising FOGO, and now it was the actual cost to the city. Given many of our residents are facing a real struggle with cost of living increases, what steps were taken by the city to try to absorb these costs by reducing costs in other areas? For example, perhaps not giving $100,000 worth of gym equipment to the new manager of Oasis while you've allowed them to increase their fees. And then we've got the CEOs paid more salary than the Premier, as well as the councillors getting extra bonuses, not those that are given by the state government and the tribunal, but things like increases in their training allowances, which allows them to be going off to international conferences. So was there any effort made to try and, you know?
Some of your comments, some of those you've used, examples, is wrong. The CEO pay is done by the State Administrative Tribunal, I believe. I'll get the CEO to speak on that.
There was a ban, Mayor Rossi.
You just can't make statements like that.
There's a ban between this and this.
And I'll go over to the CEO.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just to clarify a couple of things, you are correct. The Salaries and Allowances Tribunal set the salaries for CEOs and elected members and mayors and presidents across the state. The comment that was made that the state assisted with funding of FOGO is not the case. The state provided some better bins funding for the initial purchase of bins prior to the implementation of FOGO. And the city does review all of its services and ensures that the services that we provide are cost effective, and the increase was to fully fund the total cost of the service. And the city had been subsidising that service for about 3 years from memory, and it's now ceased that subsidy, and we're now charging the full cost for that service delivery. Thank you, Your Worship.
So just for clarification, for what reason is the city no longer able to subsidise this when rates will be going up, I presume, CPI anyway, so which is normal, and I don't have an issue with that. We can't get behind. And
Mr. CEO, are you able to answer that clarification?
Yeah, thank you. There was a commitment to subsidise it for a 3-year period and to phase that back in as a result of the implementation of FOGO and the increased costs associated with it. And I think what the city has done over the past 3 years has been admirable, and it's now time to recover the full cost of that service as on a fee for service basis. Thank you, Your Worship.
even though the residents are, doing it tough right now.
Your next question, please.
These are my personal questions, Mayor Rossi.
So if you're going to move on to personal question, we need to extend question time, so just wait, please. A move by Councillor Harris, seconded by Councillor Sessions. Please use the button on your screen. Carried. Over to you now. Thank you.
If the city had to provide a staff member to run the senior citizen sentence in accordance with what's voted on by the members of the club, which is actually how Bayswater work their senior centre, what would the cost be to the ratepayers? Because the seniors have recently had rent increases, and the bus deal, in my opinion, wasn't terribly fantastic.
Mr. CEO, are you able to answer
Thank
that?
you, Worship. Well, the Senior Cits Group are an independent group and they lease the property, so I don't believe it would be appropriate for us to provide a staff member to run that on their behalf, Your Worship. Thank you. And I can't comment on how Bayswater run their service, but I think how we do and deal with ours is appropriate under the circumstances. Thank you, Your Worship.
So, well, then I'll clarify that. So if the seniors, for whatever reason, couldn't have enough committee or whatever, and would the city be taking it over? And at what cost would it be?
It's a hypothetical. I don't know if we can answer that today, but I'll go to the CEO.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. It is a hypothetical question. If that scenario did eventuate, I'm sure my staff would liaise with the seniors group to determine how appropriate it would be for them to continue. Thank you, Your Worship.
Next question, please.
The state Labor government has now announced that they will be changing things to allow blocks of 700 metres to be subdivided, a reduction in the current block size of 900 square metres. I believe they've also said changes to parking in units, which is currently 7.5 car bays for every 10 units. If this is the case, Belmont residents will be able to blame the state for further parking problems. So my question, given the state has announced the change in block sizes for subdivision, how will this impact on our current planning policies? The city's already decided on which blocks in what areas are R20, and is there likely to be many, and there's likely to be many other blocks around Belmont that now would be within that thing of 700 metres. So will we have to redo all our policies to allow for that?
Go to the Director of Development and Communities.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing will change as far as the city's draft local planning scheme goes. The changes relate to the R20 zone, and the properties that are zoned R20 and are envisaged to be zoned R20 and the draft scheme will remain. There will be an opportunity for members of the community to make submissions when the state government advertise changes to the R codes. So if there are any concerns, then members of the community should make the submission, and that will be duly considered by the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Next question, please.
Okay. We've all sat here for the last year hearing Mr. Cardosa ask questions each meeting on agenda briefing, and there's usually about 8 of them, regarding, in his opinion, the lack of transparency. The city records these meetings for minute-keeping purposes, which would have to be kept in accordance with the State Record Office like any other record. Has the Mayor or councillors considered that the easiest way to get this transparency, therefore, would be to have the questions on the, provide the recording from the agenda briefings to the public, as there'd be no cost to this?
Councillor.
Thank you, Your Worship. As I've explained on numerous of times at the meetings over the last sort of 6 months, even longer, there is no requirement for us to have agenda briefing forums, and everything we do is in accordance with the Act with regard to the minutes and agenda process. Thank you, Your Worship.
I didn't actually say that it wasn't. I was commenting on the fact that we get 8 questions each meeting on agenda briefing, and would it be, has anyone considered that providing the tape might solve the problem?
Thank you. We've heard you. Thank you. The CEO wishes to say something.
Yeah, as I've explained previously, it would be easier if the people who were asking those questions were to put them in writing, and then they would form part of the minutes. Thank you, Your Worship.
Excuse me, but agenda briefings, we make submissions, we don't ask questions.
Mr. CEO.
And similarly, if those are in writing, they'll end up in the matrix. Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay. And just one quick one.
Go ahead.
Is the CEO aware that once again the car park lights at the last agenda briefing weren't working? This is providing a risk to residents that might come to these meetings. It's quite dark out there without the lights, and I've written to you before about it, and they weren't working last Tuesday night.
Thank you for alerting us. We'll get on to that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We move to Kate and Neil. Neil.
Kate Neal, Kewdale. Good evening, Mayor, councillors and council officers. My first question. At June 2025 OCM, the Director stated, "This is a strategy and it's not a detailed implementation plan," and that the strategy did not contain detailed implementation plan targets because they will come with the implementation plan. Can the City confirm that Belmont on the Move integrated movement network strategy was itself the council adopted strategy, not a separate implementation plan, even though the strategy itself included named projects, indicative implementation periods and implementation measures?
Mr. CEO.
I might defer to the Director, but I guess the discussion that we've had previously is that a difference between a strategy and a plan. And certainly, while some other local governments may have a strategy, a plan, an action, and implementation schedules all contained in one document, that's not the intention with our sustainable transport strategy. And I might defer to the Director if he wants anything, needs to add anything further. Thank you, Your Worship.
Director of Infrastructure Services, do you wish to add anything?
No, I don't. I mean, the CEO's explained it, but I mean, as the CEO's explained, this is what we're doing now in relation to that. I'm not sure what they were doing 10 years ago, but it was a strategy. It did have an implementation plan, and I've just explained the bulk of those actions have been transferred to a new strategy and different timeframes because the that previous implementation plan didn't line up with the timeframes for the development of those activity centres.
Next question. Do you have one more?
Yep, question 2, follow up. Does the City therefore confirm that each of the 3 references to the Belmont on the Move plan in the June 2026 ABF matrix referred to Belmont on the Move integrated movement network strategy, and that no separate implementation plan for Belmont on the Move was prepared by the City or formally approved by Council, whether by adoption, endorsement or otherwise?
Director of Infrastructure Services.
I'll need to take that one on notice, Mayor Rossi.
Next question.
Thank you. At the August 2024 OCM, The CEO referred to the forthcoming project as the new Sustainable Transport Plan, and the October 2024 consultation was conducted through the Belmont Connect project page with the web address ending in Sustainable Transport Plan. By June 2025, Council was considering the draft Sustainable Transport Strategy. On what date was the Belmont Connect project page changed from a web address ending in Sustainable Transport Plan to one ending in Sustainable Transport Strategy?
We may need to take that on notice, but maybe the Director might know. Director of Infrastructure Services.
Through you, Mayor Rossi. No, we need to take that on notice.
Thank you. Before implementing the change from a web address ending in Sustainable Transport Plan to one ending in Sustainable Transport Strategy, did the City undertake any testing to confirm that members of the public using ordinary internet searches would successfully reach the Belmont Connect project page ending in Sustainable Transport Strategy, rather than being directed to the former page ending in Sustainable Transport Plan, which produces a page not found error?
I may need to refer to the Director of Corporate and Governance, because that's his department, but he may not be able to answer tonight. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this question was raised earlier, and certainly the Sustainable Transport Strategy is on the web page, on the Belmont website. I'm not too sure which one you're referring to, but certainly the STS is on the web page, and if you type in Sustainable Transport Strategy into the search button, you'll certainly find it there.
Okay, can I just suggest you email that in tomorrow so we can look into that? Thank you.
I can do that, no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We move to Mr. Roslin. If you have a question.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for letting me ask some questions. I didn't come prepared, but just looking at the budget here and at the money. And as you know very well, I've been working for local government myself, so I'm aware of a few things on operation. And at my time, I spoke with where I was working with not the CEO, because I was in holiday or long service, was the one substituting him. I give an insight instead of $100,000 in 1 month. So my question is to the finance. Here you have, my understanding, payment for June of 50 million, 300, hard to read, 600, page 246. It's correct, it's 15 million and 643. It's very hard to read, it's very small letter.
Mr. Roslin, can we have the number again so the officer can look it up? What was the number again, please?
The page is page 246.
246. Just give the officer a chance to look for it.
Yeah.
The Director of Development and Communities will answer it for you. We've got something on the screen.
Here on the bottom is trust total, a grand total. So the trust total of 50 million and, I can either think 50 million.
I'm sorry, that's not 15 million. You almost gave me a heart attack, but it's not that big amount. We'll just get the officer to clarify for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The amount trust fund total is $15,843.58, and the City made payments totalling $9.3 million for the month of June.
Thank you. So that is referred to the trust, not to the expense of June. Okay. So if you're going back to the expense of June, I'm asking this question. Is the expense at contract work much increase on the month of June, normally every year for some reason, and the expense increase much more of the normal other month just I suspect, to reach the budget. So next year you can increase the budget again if you spend the money. If you don't, you don't. Question.
Before I go to Stuart, materials costs have gone up dramatically, but I'll over to the Director of Corporate and Governance.
The city doesn't budget on the basis that if you don't spend it, you lose it. We budget on a certain amount of money being spent every year, and if if projects aren't completed, they have the opportunity to carry those funds forward to the following year if the capital project is to be carried forward, which we'll do that, and that's already included in this document, as you probably have seen, as you're perusing the financial statements. But certainly the costs of concrete, it depends on when the engineering department actually gets to spend the funds. They may have spent it all in June, but no, we don't have the attitude here that if they don't spend it, they lose it.
Thank you. I understand. What I'm trying to say, I don't want to accuse anyone of wrongdoing, but the issue is this. As you explained very well, if you don't spend, you lose. That I don't agree with that. At that time, I was working there, the CEO, and the substitute CEO, Mr. Coates, I remember the name. I listened to what I'm saying. He said $400,000, and they used that at Cities One very well to do something. So you don't lose if you save the money you can put for next year to do something else very important sometimes. So I don't agree with that. We must spend. But the issue is this: because you want to reach the budget, in June you push in the contractor to put this invoice, to do this, is not money well spent, in my opinion. My opinion is it.
So your question is, do we push them in June to get everything done to spend the money? Because that's a serious question you're asking, and a serious statement, because I've been around a long time. I don't believe that happens. But I'll go over to the CEO first, then I'll go to the Director of Corporate and Governance.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. All of our projects, all of our capital works, all of our maintenance programs all have implementation plans and schedules that they try to deal with. There is pressure on the contractors to deal with implementing all of our contracts. Doesn't matter which month of the year it is, and that starts in July. So there's an expectation that if we're going to deliver on these projects, that they will be done and delivered continuously throughout the year. On occasion, there are some challenges, particularly around about Christmas and New Year. So December and January, it's often difficult to get contractors. And then we come to a point in time where we're getting close to the end of the financial year. And obviously we have to verify and approve all of our schedule of accounts before we get audited by the OAG. And we often have issues with contractors who may be a little tardy in submitting invoices, and we certainly follow them up. But there's no decision made here in this council to get it all done before the end of June to spend that budget. That just does not happen. Thank you, Worship.
I hope you're reassured. Any further questions before we move on?
Yes.
The last question?
My question is to consider in the future, a question, is a request in the future to try to look at this issue. I'm not accusing anyone to doing something wrong. I say it's policy. I know you don't want to lose the money to do all the budget of the year. I understand that. Nobody wants to lose that. But I say maybe, when you're doing a job, forecast how much you spend on concrete, how much you spend on bitumen, how much you spend on this and that, it's a budget for each one. I know very well that. I was a leading hand myself, so I know the story. And what I say, sometimes you don't meet that for various reasons. And pushing at last moment, maybe it's only reach the contract. Okay, that's in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Thank you.
The CEO will give a comment on that.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I think it's important to stress that officers here, including my coordinators, managers and the directors, have an expectation contained within their performance criteria, and one of them is that they deliver the capital programme on time and on budget. And that's something that I monitor on a monthly basis with the directors of this organisation. So there's never a last-minute push to get it done. And the reality is, if I don't spend the money in June, I put it into reserves and I have it available in July because it goes into a reserve. I don't lose the money, we simply re-budget for it in the following year. And I would suggest that the maintenance and capital programmes are monitored continually by staff in this organisation, and I think they do a fantastic job in the delivery of those programmes. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. We'll now need to extend question time. Moved by Councillor Harris, seconded by Councillor Sessions. Need to do a vote. Use the screen in front of you.
Not working. Yours good.
Unanimously.
Okay, the last question.
No, so I think
Last
you've asked for questions.
Yeah, one. I'm asking to provide the budget or every month, because I know probably you provide every month. You just the treasurer or the finance to say every month how much we spend on contractor and give a list of every month, if it's possible, how much we spend every month. So I know if it's different from June to January, okay, or July. If you see a big increase, maybe I'm right.
Thank you. The CEO will respond on this extra question.
Thank you, Worship. What you're asking for is actually contained in the agenda at every council meeting. Thank you, Worship.
We'll now move on to Elliot. Come forward. And welcome.
Elliot Harding, Rivervale. Good evening, Mayor, councillors and officers. Before I begin my questions, it may help to display the Belmont Connect project page on the screen.
Let's see if we can get that up. We can't? Sorry, we can't.
Okay. Belmont Connect is operated by the City of Belmont using software licensed from Social Pinpoint. As it stands tonight, the 28th of July 2026, the Belmont Connect project page displays 63 projects. The Sustainable Transport Strategy is currently open for public comment. The STS project page appears. The STS project page shows it was last updated 5 days ago on the 23rd of July 2026. Despite this, it appears in the 62nd position out of the 63 projects listed, with only DA6, Redcliffe Station precinct below it. The projects do not appear to be ordered alphabetically or according to the displayed last updated dates. Social Pinpoint's published user guides state that project lists can be ordered by published date, last updated date, or sitemap order, with sitemap order manually arranged through the site's administration dashboard. My first question. Does the City of Belmont administrator City of Belmont administer the ordering of projects displayed on the Belmont Connect project page?
I'll have to go to the Director of Corporate and Governance to answer that for you. We don't have the information in front of us. We'll get that information for you.
Okay. Second question. What sort projects by setting is currently applied to the Belmont Connect projects page tonight, 6:30 p.m. on the 28th of July 2026?
Director of Corporate and Governance, are you able to answer that?
That's a very specific question. I'll have to take it on notice.
Could we have your microphone on, please? And just answer that.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I'm happy to take that question on notice.
My third question. Does the City of Belmont hold or have access to any configuration history, activity log, or audit trail for the Belmont Connect projects page showing changes to the sort projects by setting or projects ordering between 1 and 20, the 1st or the 28th of July 2026?
Director of Corporate and Governance.
again, these questions are very specific, and it would certainly been helpful if the questions were submitted in advance so that we could actually have this information available. But no, I'm happy to take that question on notice, Mr. Mayor.
We'll get this information for you.
Yeah. So it can be exported and provided?
Director of Corporate and Governance, we are going to provide a response to his questions.
Well, I'm happy to take the question on notice, Mr. Mayor, and have a look at what the question and what information is available. Yes, I will.
Yeah. And the last question. Please identify any records documenting the engagement or communications plan for the 2026 consultation, including any launch checklist, web page instructions, or promotional schedule which planned how the sustainable transport strategy was made to be readily visible on the Belmont Connect during the 2026 public comment period. If no such records exist, please state that no engagement or communications plan for the 2026 consultation has been identified.
Director of Corporate and Governance.
As the previous three questions, I think I'm going to have to take that one on notice because I don't have that information to hand.
Ali, we don't have the information in hand, but we'll get that response for you.
Okay.
Yes, responses. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That will now close question time at 7:22 p.m. And we now move to 6.1, matrix of the agenda briefing form held on the 21st of July. Are there any questions on the matrix? Have a mover and seconder. Moved by Councillor Davis, seconded by Councillor Kulczycki. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Carried unanimously. We move to 6.2, the ordinary council meeting held the 23rd of June. Are there any questions on the minutes? May I have a mover and a second to confirm the minutes as a true and accurate record? Moved by Councillor Sakula, seconded by Councillor Sessions. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Carried unanimously. We move to the first special council meeting held on the 10th of June. Are there any questions on the minutes? I need a mover and a seconder to confirm the minutes as true and accurate record. Moved by Councillor Sessions, seconded by Councillor Kulczycki. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Carried unanimously. 6.4, special council meeting held on the 30th of June. Are there any questions on the minutes? May I have a mover and a seconder to confirm the minutes as true and accurate record? Moved by Councillor Sessions, seconded by Councillor Davis. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. We've got one missing. Can we go back? Councillor Sakula, by accident there. Councillor Sakula, just press hard. It might be flat. We'll do a revote because it froze, apparently. There we go. And we're still missing. Now, Councillor Ryan. Carried unanimously, we got there. Questions by members, number 7. Questions by members of which due notice has been given. There is none. Questions by members without notice. Response to questions taken on notice. There are none. 8.2, questions by members without notice. Councillor Harris.
Thank you, Mayor Rossi. Just a couple of follow-ups after public question time. When did we start the practice of separating strategy documents into strategies and implementation plans?
Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Worship. I think that's been in place for a number of years. I recall commencing back in 2017, and the discussion was about the role of council and the role of the administration. Council's role is strategic, and therefore policy and strategy should come and be endorsed by council. The others are operational in accordance with the Act. Thank you, Worship.
Any follow-up question?
So is that 2017 was the start of that?
Mr. CEO?
It'd be difficult for me to give you an exact date and time, but it's certainly something that we made a conscious decision on as a result of council's role being strategic. Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Harris, any further questions?
Thank you. One other. Just rephrasing a question that didn't get an answer from earlier. How many notices of motion have been excluded from the agenda over the last 2 years under 5.34A4 of the standing orders?
Mr. CEO?
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't recall that actually being asked, but I'll take that on notice. Thank you, Your Worship.
Move to 9. Are there any new business of an urgent nature approved by the presiding member or by decision? Is there any new business of an urgent nature? I believe there's none. Business adjourned from the previous meeting? There is none. Reports of committees? There is none. Reports of administration. Withdrawn items. At the moment we have 12.2 being withdrawn by Councillor Kulczycki, the review of health local laws. I'll go through each one. 12.1. City of Belmont Local Planning Scheme number 15, Scheme Amendment number 26, and the modifications to the Springs Development Contribution Plan. 12.2, I've already said, about being removed by Councillor Kulczycki. 12.3, accounts for payments for June of this year. And 12.4, monthly financial report for June of this year. No. May I have a move and a second to adopt the balance of the reports en bloc by an absolute majority decision, with the exception of items 12.2. Need a mover. Moved by Councillor Sakula, seconded by Councillor Sessions. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Now let's see which one it is. Councillor Ryan, maybe to press harder. Carried unanimously. It's there. We did it. For those people present in the gallery, please note that those items that have not been withdrawn have now been adopted by Council. You're now welcome to stay and observe the remainder of tonight's proceedings, or you may wish to leave when convenient. As outlined previously, please do not rely on any Council decision until formal notification has been received in writing. Thank you. We move to 12.2. Moved by Councillor Kulczycki. I require a seconder for Councillor Kulczycki's alternative councillor motion. Councillor Sessions. Over to you, Councillor Kulczycki.
Thank you, Mayor Rossi. I've proposed a slight amendment to Part 3A of the officer recommendation. Just for clarity's sake, this wording has been shared amongst my colleagues. Yes.
Are we able to reduce the screen so we can actually see all the words, especially the people in the gallery? Thank you. Go ahead, please.
So I won't read the amendment as it's quite brief, but I'll go into the reasons to support this. So as outlined in the report, Council is taking the administrative steps by deciding on this item to preserve the city's current health local law, which currently operates under the Health Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1911. And when the state government repeals it in December 2026, it is important that we ensure that the health local law is enforceable until such time that the new regulations are reduced. It is also important to clarify to all stakeholders that a phased approach is needed to address the immediate impending change and to facilitate continuous improvement. A full and timely review of the local laws is desirable to ensure health provisions are contemporary, fit for purpose, and reflective of the inner suburban realities the city now finds itself in 2026. In saying this, it needs to be acknowledged that commencing a comprehensive review of the health local law prior to the release of the new health regulations is likely to result in unnecessary repetition of local law-making processes and would be an inefficient use of city resources. Accordingly, a phased approach is desirable. Moreover, I believe it is necessary to ensure that members of the public making a submission, given we are advertising this administrative review for an extended period, are aware of the circumstances. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The seconder wish to speak?
Thanks, Mayor Rossi. Just to say that I think it's quite a helpful addition and I support it.
I'll go back. Oh, anybody else wish to speak for or against? Councillor Davis.
Can I ask a question regarding this? So what's the difference with the red writing and C? Because it says C, after the last day of submissions, preparing, so this is preparing and presenting a report for council to consider. So isn't that similar to a comprehensive review of the city's health local laws? Like, isn't that a preparing a report? Is that not the same, or am I completely not? Is it completely different, or is it similar?
Response from the Director of Development and Communities.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair, it's somewhat different. So the addition in red explains that when members of the community review the local law provisions, they might observe that some of the provisions seem outdated. And it's to clarify that those provisions are not being changed as part of this administrative review because we need to wait for the new health regulations to come into place before we know what would be included or excluded in those regulations, and then amend the local laws accordingly. Part 3C talks about simply this administrative review. So this administrative review would be adopting provisions that seem out of date, but that's only for the purpose of ensuring that there are local law health provisions in place after the 31st of December 2026. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Are you clear now? Thank you. All right. Anybody else? No? Wish to speak? Go back to the mover.
Thank you. I'll close by just remarking that the motion makes clear that the review of the local health laws will occur in a phased manner to accommodate the impending release of the new health regulations, and this will help to avoid confusion for members of the public who may observe and remark upon the outdated nature of some current local law provisions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. I'll put it to the vote. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Unanimously. We now move to 13.1, request for leave of absence. Are there any requests for leave of absence, Mr. CEO? There's none. We move to 13.2, notice of motion. Item 13.2.1, notice of motion, Councillor Kulczycki, trial of a novel meeting sequence. Consistent with section 5.37 of the standing orders, I approve that Councillor Kulczycki may move to have his excluded notice of motion included in the agenda paper at the next ordinary meeting of council. The notice of motion was at first instance referred to an information forum in accordance with section 5.344 of the city's standing orders. Councillor Kulczycki, do you wish to move the motion to have your excluded notice of motion included in the agenda paper for the next ordinary meeting of council?
Yes, Mayor Rossi, I do wish for the excluded motion to be considered, and if we decide it be debated at the next ordinary council meeting.
Thank you. It is yes, so we'll now move to a vote. Please use the... Yes, go ahead. What's your point of order?
The application of no debate to this motion seems odd to me. The Rule 11.2 in the standing orders specifies what motions can have no debate, and it seems that this is not one of them. Just want to clarify that.
I'll get clarification from the CEO.
Thank you, Worship. The reason for that is it's not currently included in the agenda or on the floor. That will happen at the next meeting. Thank you, Your Worship, if supported tonight.
Any further questions?
Just clarifying, so we're making this motion not a substantive motion or a procedural motion, but a third category of motions?
Mr. CEO?
No, I'm not. I'm suggesting it should be dealt with in accordance with 5.37 of the standing orders, Your Worship.
Go ahead, Councillor Harris.
Thank you. Does 5.37 specify that there should not be debate or a seconder on that motion, rather than going through the usual process outlined in 10.5 of the standing orders?
Thank you, Worship. Section 5.37 states as follows: where a notice of motion is excluded from the agenda paper as provided in subsection 4A, 1, 3 or 4, a member with approval of the presiding member may move and the council may resolve to have the excluded motion included in the agenda paper at the next ordinary meeting of council. I believe that's what happened tonight. There is no mention in 5.37 of a seconder. It simply states he may move and the council may resolve to have it included. Any debate will occur at the next meeting if council endorses that this evening. Thank you, Your Worship.
If there's no further questions, we'll move to a vote. Please use the buttons on your screen. I need one more vote. Carried 8 votes to 1. Thank you. We now move to 14, matters of which the meeting may be closed. I will now close the meeting in accordance with section 5.234C of the Local Government Act of 1995. May I have a move and a second to go behind closed doors? Moved by Councillor Sessions, seconded by Councillor Davis at 7:38 p.m. Voting is now open. Please use the buttons on your microphone screen. Carried unanimously. Would the IT officer please pause the live stream? Would those in the gallery... I invite the public back into the meeting. (14.1) The tender, Esplanade Zone 2, road drainage and foreshore upgrade. That council accepts the officer recommendation in relation to this item. Moved Councillor Sekula, seconded by Councillor Kulczycki. Carried 9 votes to 0. Unanimous. 14.2. The tender, provision of Community Watch security services. That council accepts the officer recommendation in relation to this item. Moved by Councillor Sessions, seconded by Councillor Davis. Carried 9 votes to 0. Unanimous vote. There being no further business to conduct, I thank all those in attendance and close the meeting at 7:47 p.m. A reminder to all elected members to please return all confidential documents to the box in the foyer of the councillor's entrance here at the Civic Centre. Thank you very much.